What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today when I talk to you about SoFi, I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down, what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did go up 3.36% today, 11.55 the low, 12.50 the high. After hours, you're having a lot of volatility, and that's just because of Liberation Day. So Trump is going over all the tariffs that he plans on pretty much immediately starting. And so, yeah, I'm going to go over that in a second. It's kind of interesting. But aside from that, no actual news associated to SoFi, no SEC filing. So it was just kind of piggybacking off the broader market. And so starting off, though, we did have good data coming out first thing, data point wise. So ADP employment change came in at 155 versus a forecast of 60. That was pretty much the only thing to really happen today for the most part. Of course, next couple of trading days, we'll have the market digesting the tariffs. And then also on Friday, we have unemployment, Powell. So that might calm the market a little bit. But aside from that, it's kind of hard to go over all this because there's, I feel like, a lot of different things. Starting off, just a baseline tariff of 10% for all countries. So essentially, it is what it is. So of course, some people might be for that, some people might not like it, but nonetheless, that will definitely affect consumers' buying power across the board. So there's that. It looks like there's 20% tariff on looks like Europe, 34% on China, 46% on Vietnam, 24% on Japan. Also, aside from that, you have right here 25% on South Korea, and it looks like Thailand, Switzerland, even they got 31%, so the neutral people. But aside from that, yeah, you're having a lot of just this type of stuff. So I'm sure there's going to be an article coming out summarizing and kind of clarifying all of this, because this is kind of a lot to go over, essentially. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. One thing that I don't believe did come out was anything associated to Canada or Mexico. That wasn't increased. It just said, as far as I'm aware, Trump did state that he's not going to let them kind of get away with that anymore. So yeah, it's an interesting scenario. So after hours, it's causing some volatility, not just with SoFi, of course, but the broader market. You are seeing some stocks recover, but yeah, I think those that are linked to consumers, those are the ones that are going to be hit. So we'll wait and see what does happen tomorrow, because keep in mind, what happens after hours or pre-market is a fraction of typically what happens during the trading day, because during the trading day, individuals can do options. They can buy puts, sell puts, they can do various things, and then that way they can benefit as well from the price action. Whereas after hours, it's doesn't really benefit anyone unless you technically already have those options in place, or you are short or you're long. So I think in general, tomorrow's going to be a lot of volatility. But aside from that, though, looking at shorts, they did return 197,000 shares today. 13% of the free floats being shorted. Works out to be 140.08 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is negative. So this is the first time in almost like 6 trading days where the cost to borrow minimum is negative, meaning a broker out there is paying people to short SoFi. So kind of interesting. Looking at the options today, 6.91 million in calls, 3.61 in puts. 49% of all the options being done today were bearish in nature. So you can clearly tell that a lot of individuals were hedging that today's push higher was somewhat artificial. But what do I know? Of course. Moving over to this, so you do see a consensus for it to be above that 13 to 1350. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 1050 and some as low as 950. So I think just polar opposites. Nobody really knew what was going to come out after hours, and it's kind of interesting. I'll be curious to see how the options plays out for tomorrow, because these are a lot of different things to digest. So 10% across the board. I think obviously China, the 34%, that one is a huge one. And then Europe, 20%. As far as I know, even before any of these were announced, you already did have Europe saying that they're going to match. China, I think they're already planning technically a lot of different things. One is this, and this was before even the tariffs were announced, that China's blocking new investments into US companies. So that's going to now be escalated. So it's going to be a very fun day tomorrow, no matter what. With it right now at $12.30, or with it closing at 12.31, it is between these 2 points to this pivot in this S1. So 1091 is going to be a strong kind of support. Maybe could even be touched tomorrow, depending on how it all does play out. Now I think everyone is going to be watching those other countries just to see how they do, or if they do retaliate. Aside from that, $12.46 is going to be the next strong support. Kind of bounced off the general area, but I think it is fair to assume that it is kind of off the table for the foreseeable future. But on the chart itself, $11.25, that is that 200-day moving average. That is going to be a absolute key one to watch, and luckily enough it's bounced off of that over the last little bit twice, but I think this time around we'll have to wait and see if it does and is able to hold that. So another element to watch, $11.25, and potentially because of everything that did come out, we might see some actual rating changes. Again, maybe we'll just have to wait and see how this all plays out. But latest ratings, it's been, actually there was one that did come out today, just refreshed it, and Seaport, no actual price target, unknown analyst, so nothing really crazy. I'll try and find the report and bring that up during my pre-market video, but most likely there should be some ratings coming out. I feel like if David was going to come back and from the demons of hell or wherever he is, I think that probably tomorrow might be the time that he does it. Or similarly, Compass Point to Giuliano, if anyone is going to do like a re-rating, I feel like tomorrow is going to be the day. So let me know your thoughts on all that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. What's your kind of takeaway from all these tariffs? Do you think that is good for the States? Do you think it's going to be good for stocks in general? One thing I do want to bring up though, I think this time around is a little bit pretty much across the board and attacking a lot of different countries all at once. There was this chart, I kind of brought this up in my pre-market video, but last time Trump did kind of prompt some tariffs back in 2018 and 2019. This shows the actual kind of inflation, annual inflation, and how it did get impacted, which spoiler alert, it didn't. And as far as how it did impact the stock market, and in the grand scheme of things, it still went up. So I feel like these types of volatile days are very good buy the dip type of moments, but again, you do whatever floats your boat. This time might be different and might really prompt another worldwide recession, and we might have another 08 type of scenario. Anything could happen. That's the fun thing about the market. So let me know your viewpoint. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you are looking for some kick-ass buy signals. Link in the description below and also the comments. With that, appreciate all of you watching.